Welcome everyone, welcome to the show of Shiros, the Shiros of shows. Welcome.
Glad you're with us, everybody.
Hello, it's
brand new live Shiro show. We do have Dave with us. You may not believe me because you can't see him, but you'll be able to hear him. He is on audio today.
Here in the spirit. I'm in the spirit.
That is Dave's voice. It may not sound like it. He's a little congested.
Oh,
How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I probably sound pretty sick, but I'm doing about how much I sound. Like I'm doing about how I sound. So another week at home, not working, just resting, whatever this is off. No, I got better last week in time for the show, and then I got reinfected by something else. So I promise you guys, I've had the flu shot. But for all the good it's worth, I don't think this is the flu. I think this is just some other random thing.
Yeah.
Like me.
That random dude.
Yes, like random.
Yeah, some other random thing. Exactly.
Well, we're glad you're with us to some extent, Dave, and we're glad that everybody watching and listening on the podcast is with us too.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome into the show.
To be here. And who do we have in chat?
We got
Pat?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Alex 3 Mod, Neil Henderson, Wiener Bob, Alex that's him again. Tales of Saturn, Dragons of Saturn, Paul Blort, Captain Hawden, Danthrax is here. I wonder who that guy is. Christian Marte, Pierre Garu, Pudgy Bunny, let's see, Analog Black Sheep, Tom Fum, Chappelle, any relation to Chappelle Roan? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe.
Starlight Witch Gaming, Victor Romero, KS, Pat respond to my DMs. What DMs? I don't have any DMs in my chat. Paul Blortz, I think I said him again. Trekkies Unites here, Executioner, and Eddie G and Sasquatch in time, just in time for the thing. Welcome everybody.
Nice.
Sasquatch
Hi,
just in time. Welcome everybody to the show. We got a lot of cool planned. Yeah, I feel bad for Dave. I actually just got over a cough that I was dealing with since I got sick last year. Like I kept coughing like throughout like the last couple weeks. So it cleared up now.
I cough on the air? I thought I muted myself. Sorry.
Oh, you're there. We got you.
All right.
No, I was coughing. I was saying I was coughing.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody give us a thumbs up if you can. Help out the stream. Thanks to all the 36 of you watching. And
36. Yeah. See if we can get to 69 again.
So, yeah, I mean, for those of you who are healthy, the two of you, I guess, what have you been up to?
I actually was building dollies this week. This is my dolly week, so I've been painting them up. I actually finished my one project of basing the giant cannon thing and putting the dudes on there. I got all the doodly dudes there. I finished up the basing of it. Really little nice sand dune thing, so...
For those of you newer to the show, his dollies are his Warhammer 40,000 figures.
Yeah, so sorry, this is Warhammer 40k. This is the Astra Militarum artillery team. It used to be the Earthshaker cannon, but because it got discontinued, I repurposed it and put it on the base for the artillery team, so now it's my artillery team model. No, it's not 3D printed, it's all GW. It's the cannon and the dudes are resin, but the rest of it is plastic. So these are not 3D printed, these are official GW models. They're just retired, they're all resin cast.
I bet you can't wait to get those on the table.
I can't. I'm working on 2 other ones as well. I've been painting those up, but it's been a little bit longer just because there's a lot I have to paint up. So I'm painting up 2 other additional ones on that. I have the basing done and everything. I just need to get the cannons all painted up and all the dudes, but I'm almost done. I'm hoping maybe tonight or tomorrow night I could finish it up. I think tomorrow. Are we still doing that thing, Dave?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, Pat and I and Dan from Sega Guys and Mel, Sega Lord X, are recording an editor's corner. I'm not going to tell folks what it's about because that would be telling, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, no, I didn't want to reschedule for like the millionth time, you know. So we're gonna do it rain or shine. Either way, Pat and Dan are both like huge experts on this topic, and I believe Mel can hold his own on it too. And I would like to think that I'm an expert, but I think Pat's got me beat.
Spoilers, 40K podcast.
Yeah, really.
Another Warhammer podcast. Everybody tunes out. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, it's gonna be fun though. So pickups, you guys.
Yeah, well, I have a couple of pickups. I have a couple of snacks here, actually. So my first snack pickup is Girl Scout cookies. Thanks to Dave's daughter, I bought them.
Jeez, you were so hungry you ate half the box.
It's green
you
box.
Like the corner off. The corner's missing.
So all you can see are just the girls and the Thin Mint cookies floating in front of my body.
He was that hungry. He just ate portions of the box.
Yes, but anyway, they are good. They're from a different bakery than what we have here in Ohio. There's like 2 different Girl Scout cookie bakeries, but these are still good. I could tell the difference. I actually compared the sizes to like some old ones I had from last year, which I did throw out. I didn't keep eating them, but it's like these are like a little bit smaller, but they do seem a little denser or something. Somehow they're still like a good minty flavor.
Yeah, they're thinner, and they're probably smaller. Yeah, it's weird. Like I appreciate you doing that side by side comparison, but yeah, so.
Well, and like even the nutrition facts are like a little different between the two, and like the serving size is 4 cookies for both, but for like these, it's a different number of grams. It's like a different weight than the other ones. So that's that shows you too that the cookies are a different size. But anyway, so we didn't just get these. We got like the lemonades and the peanut butter cookies, which I don't have here at the moment, but the lemonades are pretty much gone. Bunny has destroyed those. Exclusive. They're not being sold like at the Girl Scouts manning booths in front of stores and stuff. So that's interesting. But anyway, so thank you to your daughter, Dave, for selling us some cookies. I hope she meets her goal soon.
I think she will. So yeah, thank you.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. Do you have anything else to say about the cookies?
No, just that I think it's ridiculous that they insist on shipping cookies from the West Coast to Ohio rather than just shipping them from your local Girl Scout provider, right? Like, wouldn't that make more sense?
That is weird. Yeah, but oh well. We got to try out some different bakeries' cookies we normally wouldn't be able to, so that was interesting. That was cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So my second snack pickup this week is not actually edible. It is a snack adapter for my Mister. And
I was worried you were gonna pick up like a figure, like a snack. Like
no.
Snack.
No snack figure. No, so this is an adapter that lets me use original Saturn controllers, any of them, on the Mister with the Saturn core specifically. I guess you can't use it with any other core, interestingly enough. But like it's really nice. I chipped in a few extra bucks to like get it with the 3D printed shell, so it's not just like a circuit board sticking out of the USB port. Works good. Use it with a couple different controllers. It does feel much better playing Saturn games on the core using like an actual Saturn pad. I have to say, it's very nice.
Yeah, you're more def than me. I just use the wireless controller from Retrobit on mine.
Yeah, the wireless controller I got from Retrobit does not want to hold a charge for me. So
yeah, that's common.
Yeah. Anyway, so those are my 2 snack pickups this week. I've been playing a lot of Saturn games this week, honestly. I mean, you'd think the guys running a Saturn show would play lots of Saturn games every week, but I mean, we have different amounts of time from week to week. And this week was a little slower for me, I guess, and I was having fun playing different games. I was posting about it in chat a little bit. I played a Sonic Wings Special on the Mister Core, which is a shoot 'em up. And I played it because they just announced that they're doing like a new Sonic Wings sequel on Steam. Success is the company that does Cotton.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, so that's cool. So I'm like, Sonic Wings, wasn't there Sonic Wings on the Saturn? So I looked it up and like, yeah, Special is on there. And what Special is it's like a combination of Sonic Wings 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure if in what way it's a combination. I don't think they like put all the levels together. I think they sort of like combined different levels and different mechanics or something, and different characters. There's like a bunch of different characters you can play as. But yeah, it was fun. It was a pretty cool game. So I like that. Also with the Mister, which I am working on a big story about all the Mister updates that have happened recently. Most recently, they added some improved light gun support. Unfortunately, it's only for like light guns that work with like an LED screen. You can use an original Saturn like Virtua Stunner light gun, but you have to have your Mister hooked up to a CRT to use it. So it's cool you can do that, but like my Mister just has an HDMI cable, so I can't do that. And I don't have one of those like Sinden light guns to use with the Mister.
Your pack didn't come with the the analog adapter, like the VGA part of it?
No, I think it just had the one cord, and it was an HDMI.
Yeah, but there should be a there should be like a VGA thing on top of that came with your kit. That's what I bought the whole kit for.
A VGA thing,
there's like a VGA connector on the top. There's like the board on the top of it.
Okay, I'll have to look again. I'm not sure.
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure I sent you that one with the whole analog output too.
Okay. I'll look. Maybe it does. If it does, then I'll have to check out the light gun stuff. But like reading about that made me want to play some light gun games, which I had not in a while. So I tried out Maximum Force on my actual Saturn hooked up to a CRT. So that was cool. That's from the same team that made Area 51 at Atari, and I have like fond memories of Area 51 because I played that game when I was a kid. There's like a little arcade attached to the campground commissary, like a little like camp shop or whatever. They had a little arcade, and one of the games in there was Area 51. And one of the magazines I got when I was a kid, the issues of Tips and Tricks, had like this whole spread on Area 51 that I poured over. I thought it was super cool. I think it was actually Area 51 Site 4 that they had at the campground. But still, like which they unfortunately didn't put that on the Saturn, but I still just kind of think Area 51 is fun. It's kind of campy, but it's cool. So yeah, it was fun checking out Maximum Force.
I love
you can
Area
definitely
51.
tell.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever played that game and heard the sound of it. It's always been like either in a loud arcade area or the volume was so low, but I don't ever remember hearing the sound from that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Mister, Jeff Gersman just did a stream of Saturn games on Mister, and he was playing Robotica, and I was like, yeah, he's actually giving it some, he was actually giving it some praise, for being like half decent, but it's like people, it's a kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's not, it can be repetitive, but he also played a bunch of other games that were really poor representations of the Saturn library, but oh well, you win some and you lose some. But
I say we should send him some fan translations to play.
Like, these are the games you should play if you're showing off, Saturn. But
yeah, put on some Sega Rally, put on some Knights.
Yeah,
Dragoon 2.
Yeah, he was just like
virtual racing,
firing up some random stuff, and some of it was like pretty hit or miss. But yeah,
maybe he'll play it again.
There's also a pickup that I think Dave and I both got there. We want to talk about, which is the Saru by Martin from, was it Retro? Exactly what it was.
Yeah, Retro Game Restore.
Retro Game Restore.
RGR. Martin is he maintains one of the forks of the firmware for Saru. Okay. And so yeah, he managed to connect with a manufacturer in Taiwan where he can have these made in a standardized kind of way, and then they can be shipped to him in the US where they can be QC'd, before they go out to people who are buying them. So made in Taiwan, quality control in the US, uploaded with his firmware, that he's doing updates for. So he's managing the firmware fork. And they come, can you put it up to the camera, Pat? Yeah. They come in these J&T Studio injection molded cases as well, which I will say are much nicer than the ones that you would get from AliExpress. I've done side-by-sides, and the plastic is a higher quality plastic. It's very, very nice.
Unfortunately, I cannot flip it around, so for legal purposes, so I can only have it face this way. So the back looks like a generic back. There's legal purposes. I literally cannot flip it, so I don't want to say anything. So we were instructed not to show that off in the show.
Yeah, but I mean, so what Pat has is like a early beta example. But I mean, essentially the ones that folks will actually buy from the site will be slightly different. But either way, I would say that they're roughly a little more expensive than whatever crapshoot you end up.
It's like $70 to $82, $79 to $85, I think.
Right, so roughly $20 to $25 more expensive than you might pay rolling the dice on AliExpress. But you get a degree of standardization there. You get a nicer shell, in my opinion. You get, you're getting a device that guarantees no, reused parts, and and quality control. You know that it's been looked over and passed QC before it comes to you from someone in the US. So all those things together, I think is pretty compelling. And then also, I believe he did go ahead and populate the USB header on there with a USB-C connector on the board.
Yeah, I see it on there. It's not. I can't get to it in the case, but I think it is on there.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, is his GitHub Martin X72? Is that where the fork is for the SHIRO firmware?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, cool. I just linked that in chat.
Yeah, the firmware actually was running really well. I tested out some games on it, and actually a lot worked. Like the fan translation of Soccer Wars worked. The Princess Crown translation worked on there. The bulk slash translation worked. There's only the homebrews still having issues with it, so that firmware's pretty good in my opinion. It's working pretty well. The homebrew, of course, but one of the most important.
It is what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most important things about those that it actually has a beveled edge on it. Somebody mentioned in the comments there actually is a beveled edge on the board. It's really hard to see, but I've taken pictures of it. It's not as good of a bevel as the official Sega ones, but it's a pretty good bevel either way. It's definitely what you want to make your Saturn not blow up.
Do you guys know if Martin's firmware is like patching games to increase or decrease their speed, their loading speed?
I'll let you go.
No, you go, Pat. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I just started looking into it. I played through it a little bit this week. I've been kind of busy trying to finish off the paying thing, but I didn't really have a chance to look deep into it. What about you, Dave?
Well, truth is I've been sick too, and I haven't had a lot of time to mess around with this device, but I have had a little bit of time. And so I've been using Martin in terms of Saru use altogether. I've been using Martin's firmware since the beginning, even with the other Saru that we got, because and not only was it one of the first good-looking firmwares, he got the whole menu looking nice and everything. He was one of the first to get alphabetical sorting working correctly. He was able to clean up the firmware and make it look really nice to begin with. So I went with his, and then there were further improvements that came along that made it work really well. So yeah, I think that he's doing the best with what he has. Again, the nature of Saru is that each game they're going to kind of put a Band-Aid on whatever compatibility issues there are, and I think that his menu will continue to kind of incorporate whatever the main branch does, but then he'll make like further little improvements here and there to kind of like personalize it. There's only so much you can really change the Saru, though, in terms of like the system menu, So I would say that his is if you got this, you could either just go to the TP Unix. You could go to his GitHub and just download the regular menu, or you could use Martin's, and it would be two flavors of the same thing, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, we're using another like a patch. I guess it's an early version of it. I'm not sure if he made it public yet or not. Maybe he did, but we were using an early version of that one, so it seemed to be working for what I found. Like all the retail ones were gonna have issues, and the best part about that is that if there's an issue loading it, it doesn't like crash anymore. Where it's like, oh, you click the game, well, it's gonna stick loading and crash on you. It actually says loading failed, so you can actually try a different game to see if that works. So that is a massive improvement in my book, because that was one of the most annoying things about that.
Yeah.
Executioner says Martin hasn't updated that in some time, though, and I believe this is why, because he's been working on this to launch this as an actual product, as an actual Saru that folks can buy, and then release what I believe Pat was just mentioning is Bob shared with us a link to a kind of like yet to be released, or maybe he's really I would need to double check right now what's live, but it will, I imagine there will be an update soon for folks who want to stay tuned for that.
Okay.
But yeah, this is what we've kind of been talking about, kind of been hinting about, that like if folks don't want to go the AliExpress route, there would be an option for them soon that would be kind of more standardized. So if folks are familiar with Retro Game Restore, it's a site that supplies folks with replacement shells for their consoles and other little accessories and stuff like that, and they're pretty reputable. Bob has nothing but good things to say about them, and they've got a good track record. So and Martin, like I said, he's been working on the Saru firmware since pretty much day one. So there you go. Like if folks have any hesitancy and they want to go the Saru route, there you go. There's a method,
Yeah, and it's about time. And you can buy. We actually have a code too. They graciously give us a discount code for it, where if you enter this discount code here at the shop, I'll see if I can get a link to it.
It's on screen, so should we read it off for like podcast listeners?
Yeah, I see to get the link for it, because I don't think I have the.
Okay, so
if you can, send me the link, Dave, or send that put it in the chat. Actually, I don't think you can, because I can't go off and. I can't open it out without Dan's thing popping off on me.
That's okay. You can make me disappear. Wouldn't be the first time, or the second, the third.
Okay, well, let me just see what I can do here.
Or at least, because I'm trying to. You probably open up in the.
Well, if you go to their store and you type in code GT3YRQYJ, that will be a discount code. What do you get? Like 5% off?
It's like $5 off.
$5 off. Okay, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the link to the store right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same one that Tito mentioned in his video, so that should be good.
Yeah, that's going to be the same one Tito mentioned. I'll put the link to the store in the chat. It's jt-studios.com/product/Saru.
Nice.
So it's JT Studios. I'll pin that in the chat for people. You on the video. I'll see if I remind myself to put the link in the description of the audio version of it. But yeah, the discount code again to get $5 off is GT3YRQYJ is the code to get $5 off on the Saru. It's a really great one. It's about like I said, like $73 to $85, I think. And you can get the one without the case or with it. I recommend with the case. And to be honest, though, that's a pretty good discount, especially $5 off of that, just to get all those, just to be able to get a Saru that that's going to be good, that's going to work. You don't have to. It's not going to be e-waste. And
it's still cheaper than what Pat and I paid like 6 months ago, right?
Exactly.
Or however long, maybe it was a year ago. I can't remember, but it's cheaper than what we paid. It's still the cheapest device out there by far, and the only way you're going to beat that is if you kind of roll the dice on a sketchy seller on AliExpress. You might get one for $50. They just keep trying to sell them for cheaper, but I can't guarantee that beveled edge. We can't guarantee that the PCBs will this one looks really nice. It's like a black PCB, and as I said, that USB-C connector is on there on that USB header, so maybe folks can mess around with that and try to do some programming and use the USB out of the cart. That's some extra potential there. Anyway, we shouldn't we don't have to stay on this topic, but
yeah, no, I just want to thank JT Studios and Martin for being able to put this out, and this way we can finally be like, if people ask me which server should we get, we can finally just give them a link to it.
Yeah, so Retro Game Restore and J&T Studios, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so go pick those up, and use the discount code there. I'm gonna take it off, but there's again the discount code $5 off is GT3YRQYJ.
So shall we move on to our community updates?
Sure.
I guess that was a little bit of a community update, talking about your upcoming Saru stuff and whatnot.
What's up on the community updates?
Yeah, so our latest community challenge from January came to an end, since we are now in February, and Double Dime wrote a nice story about it and put up on the website. So thank you to Double Dime for writing that up. So he talked about how we had several winners in the competition. Private Eye, though, was on an all-out rampage, as Double Dime put it, taking 9 out of the 12 categories in Winter Heat, which was the game that everybody played all month. We had a total of 241 submissions from 19 participants, by the way, so pretty good participation. Private Eye, he did win like the big category here with the 11 event Heat, because that's kind of like the marathon run of it all. He had a total score of 15,444. Tortured Greg beat out Moose in the aerial event by 54 points and was able to edge out Fart Daily in ski jumping by just 4.76 points.
He's been out-farted.
Yes, but lost by 22 hundredths of a second in speed skiing to Double Dime himself. So congrats to all of the event winners. You all did Sega proud with your winter heating.
Getting into some winter heat.
Yes, thanks to all the organizers who put this together. All the winners are entitled to a Saturn Dave designed patch embroidered by Moose, and a special T-shirt prize made by Zayden is going to go to our champion Private Eye. So pretty cool. And
we need to pay Zayden, but that just reminded me. But Zayden did an amazing job too on that shirt. Like he showed us I don't know how he was able to boil down the colors himself, but it looks really, really slick. And then of course Moose always does good work, so that's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I have a few quotes here from Double Dime in the story. Pandemonium said, "Congrats to Double Dime and Greg." Greg being Gregory Rasputin, for keeping Private Eye from sweeping. Also, and congrats to Private Eye for nearly sweeping. Private Eye himself said, "Great job, guys. Another fun challenge. I only played Winter Heat a handful of times when I was younger, so it was great to give this gem the attention it deserves." And Tortured Greg said, "Well played, everyone. We had an absolute blast and looking forward to the next game." I have one more quote from the notorious VDP, who said, "Not sure why I wasn't excited about trying this one out back in the day, but it's a great game that is so Sega, and maybe it's helped us up our decathlete skills." Decathlete being the predecessor to Winter Heat, of course. There was one other thing that Double Dime PM'd me here during the show, and it was actually a Blue Sky post from Private Eye, where Private Eye pointed out that the Japanese and US versions of Winter Heat have a file named satff.txt containing messages from the developers. Here's a machine-translated message from graphic designer Yasushi Kameda. Thankfully, humanity wasn't wiped out and they're still alive to this day. So Kameda said, "By the time someone is reading this, I will no longer be on Earth. The world will collapse soon, and 82% of all human beings will be wiped out. And the plan is for the majority of Japanese people to be killed by a tsunami. This is inevitable. So please spend your time meaningfully until then, and make sure you have no regrets. P.S. It's a pretty big event, so I'm excited about it." What?
Alrighty.
Absolutely unhinged. Kameda is, I believe, still alive and is working on video games to this day, by the way. And humanity is, for the most part.
We still got some time.
Yeah, me too.
So does A.
Very interesting.
I'm super excited for this end of the world event.
Yeah.
Hopefully it takes me out first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically there was a tsunami, right? You know, and
there's a lot of them. I mean,
Yeah.
Fukushima also
right.
was also a big thing.
Right.
So maybe he was commented was predicting that. Who knows? Yeah,
maybe.
Didn't take out 82% of humanity though, thankfully.
Imagine as soon as the world ends, he's just sitting back like 30 years later. He's like, I finally my message I left in my game I made 30 years ago finally came to pass, and it's also
like
relevant.
I knew it. Yeah.
So thanks a lot to the committee, or God, I keep calling them the committee, the council. For keeping this challenge going. You guys are amazing. We really appreciate you. Can't tell folks what the next game is, but I can give them a hint. If you guys have been paying attention at all to our community, this is a game that Joe, a Sega RPG fan, really likes, and he's kind of, you know, mentioned it several times. Like, I really like this game, or I've come around on this game. So, but I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give it a shot. I think Pat likes it too. So there's a.
Well, I don't know what it is, so hopefully it'll be good. I'm the only one that's left out.
Pat mentioned on one of our podcasts a long time ago that he liked this game, and I was like, really? That doesn't.
Oh, I know which one it is. Okay.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
okay.
I know exactly which one it is.
As a game that Pat would like, but he did. So yeah.
That game actually was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yes, Mr. Bones, it is right.
Yeah. We'll talk about Mr. Bones later in the show.
Unfortunately, we have to.
I guess we should move on to the news segment, and Bo Bales has a new hack.
All right, let me get the news segment jingle. Alrighty, the jingle is playing. You can't hear it, but it's playing. Power Stone. Power Stone. Expansion hack Power Stone 1 and 2 on Dreamcast.
Very cool.
Yeah, this one is interesting. It's showing a lot of interesting things. Basically, a lot of Power Stone related. So hidden menus for test functions, and a lot of similar menus between the games, and just the cool texture viewing stuff, which I think is cool. And I actually have some input on stuff. So nice. The first one, he has a video of the item viewer, lets you view all the items. So that's kind of cool. No nude models, unfortunately, but you know, maybe if you guys want to just want to look at Rouge's model and zoom in on places, you probably could do that.
You could.
Terrible.
If you're the sort of person to do that.
This sort of person. But anyways, basically, if you analyze a memory snapshot from Power Stone, you'll see some interesting strings, which looks like an arcade service menu. Spoilers, there's a reason for that. And basically, following the reference, he led to it and starts up the and is able to access the menu of it. So for those who don't know, there's this thing called Naomi, which is the arcade equivalent of the Dreamcast. So this is the test menu. This is what the test menu looks like when you hit the service button on the arcade menu in the games, where you can change the things. I think it's a little bit different because this is missing some of the. Actually, I think that's some of the coin test, the configuration. So the menu's a little bit different in the Naomi menu, because it's for like input and output and coins and stuff, and like what's it called, audit things for the coin counters. So this is kind of the same menu interface that they're using. So wouldn't be surprised if there's some library that auto generates that, so you don't have to make an entire menu.
Ullman wants to know what that character model you were talking about was.
Rouge, there
you go.
Yeah, the genie girl that, you know, is
right.
Great character.
She's like Shantae's cousin.
If I had a quarter for every time there was a character named Rouge that has big assets in a game, I'd have 2 quarters. And on the Dreamcast, I have 2 quarters. It's just weird that happened twice.
Yeah. You're talking about game assets, right? That's all we're talking about.
The game assets, yes.
Yeah.
Game assets. Anyways, see, we're bringing back the 2000s, you know, comedy stuff. So, you know, hopefully it's not going to age very well. So, anyways, so yeah, just checks out this input menu, and playing around with it, you can see things like color tests, and you can even check out the game check edit. And shows the model viewers for that, so that's kind of cool. You got Ayumi and that I forgot what the kid's name is, but or Ayami, sorry.
Cool.
But yeah,
you only know Rouge in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I know Falcon.
Oh, okay.
Wait, didn't we talk about this last week? Because I remember that screen that we were.
No, because
that was a teaser one.
Oh, that was the teaser. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, this is it then. Yeah, guys should definitely check this out. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, this it also has a game check thing, and has this this ending check you can check that'll show out this coming soon in Manitou Goiken at powerstone.com. I believe I remember seeing this in the demo disc, not the bottom one. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can play the demo disc and get this again, but it's like the first Dreamcast generator disc, I believe. I don't know if Bo's in the chat if he wants to look at that, but I'm fairly sure that does appear when you beat the demo of that. I don't know about that bottom part, but I do remember this menu, so it might be in there. I'll double check to be sure, though. I have to pull up the generator discs, but
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, fun fact, Naomi is good. Anyways, so there's Power Stone 2 as well that's has a similar menu, which makes sense because why would they redo the menu again for that?
Right.
But it has a little bit things like motion check, hit check, ending checks. It's less arcadey based, which I guess it makes sense. They want to make it more debug it. And they have the menu view item viewers back, so you can check out all the little 3D items, and the shop lady and the cake. I imagine you could probably look at all the little items you get in there. So hit menu has a bunch of features. You have to use Control 2 for the menu. That's kind of weird. Ending check just shows the endings. Sound test, of course, just the different sounds. It's a lot of options. Oh my gosh. The sound check is dang. That's a really robust sound check. And it found that location test gives a coming soon screen after the 4th battle. That makes sense. So people that don't know, location testing is actually a thing in Japan where they actually bring the arcade to an arcade, and they have it people test it out and play it. It's like on location, so it's a lot of early previews. I know that some really obscure games get that as well, but that would make sense if that's in the location test, because that's probably a setting in there that they set where it's like, okay, set it for the arcade or a demo disc where it's location test, and that's flipped. It'll play the game to the 4th battle, which is like the end. Oh yeah, your demo's up. Go get out of here and let someone else hop on the arcade machine. So that's kind of common.
Arcade games do still get location tests to this day, just to test the market viability.
And I think that's a thing in the U.S. too, like not just in Japan.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, in the U.S. Like Sega's My music rhythm arcade game that has been out in Japan for like more than a decade. It's actually getting location tests right now in the U.S. to see if they want to actually bring it out here finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Round 1.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I know there's this one arcade machine that was location test that my friend posted. He said a location test for like a week and they shut it down immediately. It probably did garbage. I forgot what it was called though, but I know it was another rhythm game. I'll have to double check. I'll let you guys know. But it also has a VMS save and net info that doesn't seem to do anything. But yeah, there's a lot of cool options in Power Stone, so I would highly recommend that you guys check these out. Check out Bo's article, Bo Bales, and play Power Stone 1 and 2 because it's 2 of the best games on the Dreamcast in my opinion.
They are very good.
Very good. 1 or 2, if you had to choose.
Do I get friends? If I had to pick one, do I play with friends or play it alone?
You have no friends, Pat. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you get to play with friends. That's the whole point.
I'm just saying, like, if I can play with friends, Power Stone 2. If I'm alone and I have to play it, Power Stone 1. Just because I think Power Stone 2 is more a party game, but Power Stone 1's feels more competitive. If that makes sense.
That's a good answer. Yeah, okay. That's good. So thanks, Bo. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bo. Love you, Bo.
Check out Rings of Saturn, right? Or wait,
Rings of Saturn is his
Rings of Saturn, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably play some Power Stone on my arcade machine later. I want to play that.
Oh look, it's Pat's friend. Speaking of Pat's friends, Mr. Bones.
Yes. Oh gosh. Anyways, next article after this. I'm just joking. We're gonna cover Saturn News Roundup. Shin Megami Tensei author loves Mr. Bones. Pseudo Saturn progress and Yabashan's SHIRO fix. Did you want to talk about this, Mr. Danold or Dave?
Sure, I'd love to. We have a few little headlines lately in the Saturn world, and our first one here is that Aya Nishitani, the author of the original Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei novel and its sequels, which inspired the Shin Megami Tensei video game series that Atlas, now Sega, makes, he's apparently played Mr. Bones and on the Sega Saturn, and he said that he wished that its world were the one he expressed in his stories. And he made these comments January 30th on X. Yeah, so I have the quote. He wrote it in English in his post. He said, "I wasn't sure if I was allowed to publish this. 1996 or 1997, when I played this game on Sega Saturn, I thought this is the kind of world I first wanted to express in MT, Megami Tensei. Before I met Mr. Ueda of Atlas. Of course, the graphics are fundamentally different. There are many fans of this game in the U.S., and I may erase this post because U.S. fans of this game may feel uncomfortable." I don't know why he thought that this would make people mad in the U.S. that he's comparing. He wanted Megami Tensei to be Mr. Bones. But
yeah, that's
if I load up a Shin Megami Tensei game versus Mr. Bones, I'd be so mad.
Yeah, he followed that statement with a link to a Google search for Mr. Bones, which, of course, is a quirky Saturn exclusive platformer that came out in October 1996, published by Sega. So go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying, as a Mr. Bones apologist, I'm really glad he didn't. Shin Megami Tensei and Mr. Bones should not come anywhere close to each other.
Yeah, let's keep them away from each other, like the far distance away.
What do you know, Pat?
I know I wouldn't be playing it.
Biggest hater. Well, several Mr. Bones fans assured Mr. Nishitani that his post was welcome and shouldn't be deleted. He also replied to one fan to say that Mr. Bones is the last game he found interesting, I guess ever, I'm not sure, and he likes that the main character, Mr. Bones himself, is lonely. So that's kind of morbid, but that's it. It's really interesting that he just came out of nowhere and said he loves Mr. Bones and loves how lonely he is and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Saturn love all these years later.
I can think of a lot of other modern games with lonely characters. Maybe he just hasn't played any new games recently.
Yeah, maybe.
I appreciate his post though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Like every once in a while, you get somebody going on record with something like that, and you're like, okay, that's left field, but that's cool.
Been burning a hole in the back of his mind for a while, I guess.
Burning of Rangers.
Yeah, the burning of Rangers. Burning of Mr. Bones. Okay, so our next story is about the Pseudo Saturn Patreon getting a small update from its developer, Cafe Alpha. Of course, Pseudo Saturn Kai is the homebrew software for booting burned discs of Saturn games, as well as a bunch of other functions. He's been adding to it over the years. He updated the project's Patreon subscribers last Friday, so a week ago today. And in the post, he said subscribers weren't billed in December and January because of the slow pace of work on Pseudo Saturn, but he expected to bill them for 1 or 2 months in preparation for the next public release of Satiator Menu Kai, which is the version of Pseudo Saturn made specifically for the Satiator optical drive emulator. In the post, he said, regarding progress, loading of multi-CD games is more or less implemented into Satiator Menu Kai. There are, however, some special cases requiring additional coding and testing. For example, the support of multi-CD games whose each disk image are stored in subfolders. And just an addendum here, Pseudo Saturn's most recent public update was about 13 months ago. So this is a long time coming, but it's good to hear that he's getting closer to an update. As a Satiator owner, I appreciate new updates to the Satiator Menu Kai to make it better.
Definitely.
So that'll be cool.
I'm surprised 13 months ago. I could have sworn they released one recently. It's been that long? Maybe like
it looks like it's me.
Maybe like a beta. Maybe it was a beta one because they have a bunch of beta ones on the site.
Maybe. I think I'm counting like the last official non-beta release.
Maybe yeah. He keeps posting the beta ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys all daily drive Menu Kai on your Satiator?
I do. It's all I use now after they fixed the After they fixed the netlink issue, I actually use it exclusively now.
I actually took mine off because I was having some weird issues where I like couldn't boot up a game or like kind of conk out when I was trying to boot up a game. Yeah, and also like just every once in a while. But also, I don't know, the whole like per game save thing, which I could turn off, I know, but like it also like makes you feel like I don't have as much control over it, and there's like save files I have from like years ago. I believe you can get that onto the satiator menu Kai, but I haven't looked into how to do it. It was just easier for me to just kind of like take it off and use my old saves just with the basic menu. So I'm not against using satiator menu Kai again. At the moment it is off.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean I found it quite useful, and I was I don't want to get way off into the weeds, but I just kind of feel like it was a missed opportunity that Tito, in his recent video about the different devices, he mentioned the satiator, but he failed to mention menu Kai. But I think that was because he had so much to cover and he probably forgot about it. Because I was talking to him and I was like, well, if you're comparing apples and apples, you probably should stick with the factory firmware and compare that, because that's what comes with the satiator. But I said like Rings is probably like the most flashy one visually, but it kind of runs slow. It's a little jank. And then Satiator Menu Kai is like literally what I daily drive. It's the most feature rich version, and it's got per game save and all that stuff. And he forgot to mention it in the video, which I think was too bad. But anyway, hopefully more people will check out Satiator Menu Kai because it's amazing. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, I can't go back after that per game save. That's been so useful. Like I don't even think about my saves anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I kind of get what Dan's saying too. Like I can appreciate you maybe wanting to like be in control of your own save game management using Slinga's save game copier.
Yeah.
Especially if you keep your battery charged and you're on top of that stuff. But I mean, like Pat said, like you never know when you're gonna like forget, and then you're gonna be in the middle of an RPG and you don't want to lose it. So I mean, it is nice to have per game save.
So, not to mention if you switch Saturns a lot, it'll be on the satiator, so you don't have to worry about transferring saves. Just pothead satiator, it's all in one.
I'm a one Saturn man over here, but that is a good point for those who do have multiple Saturns. Switch things around. The only thing you have to remember with that though is once you have like finished a play session and you like turn off your Saturn, you have to turn it back on again so that the satiator will then back up the save that is saved to the internal memory.
True. Yeah, this is true, and it's true. Yeah, so I kind of wish that Abrasive would add some of these features, but I think that where he's at is he's really just focusing on like the underlying compatibility. And who knows if he gets that completely sorted out, he'll end up, working more on like quality of life improvements. And so, yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's been a long time, and I mean, there's still not a proper soft reset, for satiator for the stock menu, right? Not that I'm aware of, right? So you either had to use, Rings or Satiator Menu Kai for a good soft reset. And that action replay cart thing, you could mod an action replay cart to allow you to do soft reset with Satiator, but it didn't. Then you couldn't use it as an action replay for codes so
right.
I'm just hoping that he's able to address that in a somewhat soon, because I think that's that's kind of a standard thing that every ODE or flash cart should have, is in-game reset. Yeah, so. But shouts to Cafe Alpha and to the Pseudo Saturn team. That's awesome.
Yeah, Private Eye is tester.
Oh right, yeah, absolutely.
Shouts out Private Eye.
So our last story here in this roundup is that Yabasan SHIRO put out the emulator has a new update. So Miax, developer of the Saturn emulator Yabasan SHIRO, announced a new update for the PC version last Saturday in his Discord server. He said, black screen issue on Intel GPUs fixed. I released this fix as version 1.16.7. You can update by selecting help, check for updates, or download directly from yabasanshiro.com/download. Some users have reported that this emulator started up with a black screen and no menu, unable to play any games since the Windows update was Windows version was last updated in November. Miak said a couple weeks ago that he bought a small pre-built PC and used it to reproduce the issue and figure out how to fix it.
That's some dedication.
Yeah. I mean, he also, you can tell, kind of like loves his little weird, quirky PC devices and handheld PCs and stuff, because he's bought like a number of those, and for years he was focusing on making Yabasanshiro work on specifically handheld devices, handheld Android computers and Android phones. Eventually got it onto the iOS store. So that's been kind of his bag, I think, is messing around with stuff like that.
I think it's funny that it was cheaper to buy a smaller PC than to buy like a Intel Arc GPU. Maybe that was cheaper, or maybe you just wanted to make sure it was integrated graphics. Some of the Arc ones have that, but that's kind of funny to me, at least.
Yeah, so hopefully that fixes that. There are still some other issues going on with it, like when they have like with the most recent Windows update from November, there's a new UI to Yabasanshiro for selecting your games. Like you can point it at your folder, a folder with like a bunch of subfolders where all your Saturn games are, and it'll like show them to you, and it'll bring up like disc art, cover art for all the games, and it looks nice. But when you start scrolling it, the graphics like corrupt, and it smears almost on your screen. At least it does for me. It does for a lot of other people. I think that might be another GPU specific issue or something. I have like an NVIDIA video card, so hopefully he's able to fix that next, because it's not like a deal breaker or anything. Like games still run despite that, but it looks bad. It looks kind of janky. So it's a work in progress, like all emulators are.
Well, hopefully he gets that fixed up. I think Yaba is probably one of the most popular ones.
I mean, Mednafin is definitely the most popular, but I think Yabasanshiro is up there. Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. I think that's it for the roundup, right?
Yes, that is it. We have one more story.
One more for the audience. Oops.
I might actually have to bounce, guys, because I might have to go pick up Jesse from school.
Okay.
It
was great talking to you.
Yep, great talking, y'all. Rest up and get healthy soon.
Get better, Dave.
Will do.
Have a good podcast tomorrow.
Neck. Sorry, I was cracking my neck. Simulation RPG Creator, Best of Saturn. So I've not really played around with this a lot, but it kind of, I wonder if we'll have to see if it's in the series of RPG Maker. Maybe it's a spinoff. So Fall 98 saw the release of Simulation RPG Creator. Build your own RPG that allows aspiring gamers to develop their own Ogre Battle Final Fantasy Tactics Epic. The game is very text-heavy, therefore not import-friendly, but get past the language barrier to uncover a complex build where you design your maps, items, characters, and battle screens. Want to spend hours designing this next SRPG classic? Step this way.
So this didn't have a whole lot to say about this. Yeah, I actually checked this out. Yesterday, because I hadn't played it either, and it is very Japanese heavy, and my rudimentary Japanese could only take me so far without having to use a translator app or something. But it is, you can really get in the weeds with this, with designing each individual character and their starting stats and what their name is and their class, and and then I'm sure you get into the mission based stuff too. I didn't get that far. It does remind me a lot of the RPG Maker stuff that you mentioned. I don't think it's from the same company. I could be mistaken, but it is very much that same sort of a thing. Sounds like you're smearing too much Vaseline on the screen, Dan. I don't know what you're talking about, Ice Pack. But sorry.
How does it sound like? How does it sound like a noise?
I'm not sure.
Weird. All right. Anyways, this one looks pretty cool. I wish I could play it. I know the RPG, was it the RPG Maker is really powerful on PlayStation. So.
Yeah, it's cool that there's one of these on the Saturn too, and it isn't just like a regular RPG maker. It's an SRPG maker, like he says, like Final Fantasy Tactics, or I mean, like a lot of the other games on the Saturn, Riglord Saga, and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, very cool that this is on the Saturn. Thanks, Peter, for turning everyone's attention to it and educating us a little more on the Saturn library. I didn't know that this was a Saturn game. I'd never heard of it before Peter put this article up. So,
yeah,
cool.
Thank you very much, Peter, for the article. And oops, that's not what I wanted to do. No, thank you for the article, and thank you for all the best Saturns. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing the making all these awesome articles.
Even though he didn't give Vampire Savior a Best of Saturn Gold. I'm still salty, but that's okay. We love Peter anyway.
Maybe next time.
Maybe he'll revise it. I'm hoping.
Revisiones. Alrighty, I think that's about time.
Yeah, that's the show we got for you this week.
Yeah, let me do the Patreon music. Patreon musica. Please don't look at my links. Let's see. I have to get the list up. Get the names. Get information. Steal government's top secret research document. No.
Sure.
Here. Oh, it's just lagging a bit. Give me a second.
Okay.
Go.
Computers always fighting us.
Yes, the computers.
Usually at the beginning of the show. This time at the end of the show.
The end of it. It just lagging up on me. Maybe it's all the data going through the lines.
Yeah.
But anyways,
inner tubes are clogged.
Exactly. I'll have to clear it out with some drainage, Drano. Anyways, I want to thank the $10 and up Patreon backers: Murder of Crows, Emerald Nova, Johannes Fetz, Paul Blort, Sega Steve, Cerulean, Chris Piper, Daniel Fredrickson, Derek Prescarella, aka A-Team, Evil42, Frat Drunk Friend Otaku, Gem Clasher Rank, Linewing Publishing, Momphis, Normal Guy, Nutrageous, Orlando Guy, Robert Ramsey, Rowan Dinked, Stone Man, The Sega Guys, and Young Money Sawi. If you guys want to be shouted out on the show, you would back us up at the $10 and up level. Every level above $3, you get insider access, like the insider patrons. You get early fan translations that people are working on. You get early SHIRO videos, early Sega Guys, and early Pandemonium videos. So you get three of a kind. Sounds good to me.
Early podcasts.
Early good stuff. There's a lot of great benefits, and of course you're financially supporting us, which allows us to check out cons, work on different projects, and review a bunch of stuff.
And host the website and the podcast.
Exactly.
You know,
I forgot about that. I thought that was free. That's not.
It was the most important thing, really.
Yeah, that's kind of why we set it up. I don't know why I didn't mention that before, but you know, that's okay. It's a reason for the season.
We got it out there.
Exactly. And if you guys can't back us at financially, you could check us out on our community pages on Discord, where you could interact with us. Follow us on on Twitter, Blue Skies, or Facebook. Talk to us there. Or you can just talk to us on the show, like, comment, subscribe, and I don't know, ring the bell if you guys want to follow us. It's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, anything you'd like to say before I head out, Dan?
Buy a t-shirt. We've got a link on our website, SegaSaturnShiro.com. If you just look under the shop at the top, and we've got Teespring, Spreadshop, and Threadless. So 3 different options, whichever one you want to choose. You can get a cool SHIRO t-shirt, so you can show your Sega love around town and support the show a little bit. So support the website.
We still got plenty of magazines, so if you guys want to,
you can also still buy a magazine. Yep.
If you want to look up those, but yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
And
remember, yes, and listening. If you're listening, I don't know. I mean, they might not have your ears, Dan, so we have to be sensitive.
Our podcast listeners.
We love them a lot. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, you must play Sega Saturn.
You must.